This is Lawrence here. This is a bit of a post-edit video I'm just throwing in. I don't know if you heard my voice very well. You can hear my voice, but I'm going to be a lot softer because I did a rookie error, and this is definitely going to be one of those bleeper videos we're going to look back on. My mic was muted the whole time, so my audio was going through Tom's mic, and you could barely hear me. So I do apologize. I'm just going to flag in this video that's what happened. So anyway, I hope you still enjoy. Turn the volume up, particularly for mine, which I don't think you can do, but it's completely fine either way. So enjoy. All right, welcome back to Chat 20 by DMIY. I'm Lawrence. This is Tom. They finally put a face to the name for those who are watching us on our YouTube channel now.
Brand
For those
new.
of us on our podcast, don't worry, we'll put a little thumbnail with our photos on there, which you can admire all
Unlucky for you.
Tom's beauty
My beauty.
and my beard.
At the end, the beauty and the beard. There we go. If this ever fails, we've got a fallback. The beauty and the beard.
The beauty and the beard. That's actually kind of a cool name for this episode. I'm going to call it the beauty. And
The
beard.
beauty and the beard. We're not going to talk about either of those things.
No, it's going to have absolutely nothing to do with the beauty and the beard. So I'm going to let our true listeners figure out what today's episode's about. But
We touched on it last time.
We didn't touch on it last time.
What we were going to talk about.
But again, like the pro listeners out there, the ones that have been there listening to our nonsense from day dot will understand that we actually talked about potentially doing player etiquette, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing this episode.
Yeah, this is going to be a big one. There's a lot of coverage. There's a lot of content to cover.
There's a lot of content to cover.
A lot of content.
A big shout out to someone else that gave us plenty of content. That's Kendall Drury from One for All. He was originally from One for All. He's got many other projects and Boilermakers of his own, but at the moment, that is Kendall Drury's.
Yeah, a lot of good.
There's a lot of
Very knowledgeable. He's very knowledgeable. It's good to get an opinion other than just yours and mine. So
Exactly. Plus, we can't have this guy's face in it all the time.
no. You know,
Outshine me too much.
I don't want to take over the whole podcast. No, or do I?
So yet again, we're here on the couch.
On the couch. This is what the couch looks like.
Couch looks
You haven't seen the couch. We're on the couch. We have some goodies with us, which we'll talk about later.
Absolutely. To be continued.
To be continued. Boom.
Hey, we're on that 20!
Nat 20?
That is a nat 20.
Holy
Some
God.
I didn't touch the dice,
You know what? This episode could not possibly get better. We started with a nat 20. Let's kick off. Yeah.
Kick off, all right.
Get into the content because we as always, we're going to go on wild tangents and we're going to get carried away. And so we may as well get started now in the interest of getting through all of our content.
Absolutely. So we're talking about player etiquette. I know that some of our players watching us right now are probably going to get fairly called out.
Yeah. We're wholly not intending to.
We're going to have a few conversations apparently with the players tonight after they listen in.
Yeah, look, hopefully none of our players take this as an attack of any sort.
Exactly.
We're going to try and be as anonymous and blanket as possible.
We'll only name all of them at some point.
Yeah, that's it. You know, the main offenders.
The main offenders. Exactly. We're going to uniquely point you out. And we're going to name and shame you.
Maybe we'll use character names so that way we can keep their the anonymity. Yeah, PC names.
I don't know. I'll see you giving their addresses and phone numbers out as well.
We don't dox. We don't dox here. That's a naughty thing.
Okay, fair enough.
So, yeah, player etiquette, I guess, is an overall kind of thing for, it's do's and don'ts as a player, but more so on like a kind of like common sense. I would say common sense level, but what it boils down to is, what players should do and what they shouldn't do to help their DM, one, facilitate a game and to create an environment for everyone at the table to feel welcome and enjoy.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of different things that fall under player etiquette. We're not going to be able to talk about all of them, but we're going to try and cover the big ones.
And obviously this doesn't include things like concepts like gatekeeping, so which is also something that we're not a fan of. People should have access to the game, just have access to the games that they enjoy and participate within. it's a community it's very much not like, oh, you can't play because X, Y, Z.
No, yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
So that's not what player etiquette is, but I guess player etiquette is how can you be the best version of you at the table to ensure that you're having fun and also everyone else at the table is enjoying their time.
Yes, yeah. And to make sure that your DM, doesn't get to the end of the session and want to jump off a bridge, you want to.
That's definitely not the goal.
No. You want to, as Lauren said, you want to be the best version of yourself. You want to be the best player you can be to make sure that everyone has fun and that your DM, all their planning doesn't just get thrown out. Because nothing will kill a campaign faster than players who just either aren't interested or just don't care or
absolutely
do any of these or most of these things that we're going to talk about.
And one big one that's probably on the tip of everyone's tongues right now is the use of phones. When to use them, when not to use them. I think some people have like a no phone rule. I've talked to people before that have literally turned their phones off.
Yes.
And that's a house rule that them and their group have had. And the phones go off, they play the game and get fully immersed, and then the phones only go on when they finish the session. Others are okay with it, but only at certain times. What do you think is the best?
Look, in an ideal world, it's never going to be ideal. I think that phones should just go off or go away somewhere in a cupboard. Obviously, we're not in an ideal world. Things go on. You might have to take a call from your parents or work or something going on. If you are going to use a phone, so long as it's not to the detriment of those around you and the table, I think it's fine. But if you're just gonna sit there and scroll through Instagram reels while stuff's going on around you, that's where it gets to the point where I would say no.
Yeah, exactly.
You're here, you're sitting around a table to play a game with a group of people that all want to be involved, and then you're sitting there just watching videos. It gets to your turn in combat, and you're just like, huh, what's going on? Yeah, sorry, I was too busy looking at my phone. Like,
it's not even just combat. What gets me sometimes is you get people that they've got this real role playing moment. They're doing this whole thing where the characters they're developing. They put a lot of confidence, time, and effort and heart into what they're sharing at the table, and then you've got someone that's just picked up their phone and is just tapping, not even paying any attention to the person that's role playing, and also like the DM, if they're trying to describe like a scene that's happening or unfurling, it could be pretty big for them. Like they wanted this to be a reveal for the players to bring that sort of and excitement, and then when you're looking amongst the tables trying to catch eye contact with people and you just see someone on their phone, it's actually quite disheartening for the DM that's trying to describe the scene or describe the event. And it's also disheartening for other players if they're trying to have like that role play moment and no one's paying any attention to it. Yeah,
nothing worse, and this happens occasionally, especially the people that right in the middle of those very poignant, role play moments that you were talking about, not only are they on their phone, they'll then, turn to the person next to them, be like, oh, look at this that I just saw. So then they're taking another person out of the moment. And it does get to a point sometimes where you have to pull them up and be like, guys, there's something happening over here.
Yeah,
exactly. Can we let these guys have their moment? Because otherwise, as it happens, oh, look at this video. Oh, that's so funny. And then it just gets louder and louder and louder.
Yeah.
Because that's just natural human behaviour, The longer you talk, the louder you get.
And then my favourite thing of all time, is when you're in combat, and it happens with Theatre of the Mind. I guess this goes back to one of our other episodes where we talked about
Theatre of the Mind,
or not to Theatre of the Mind. But when you're trying to describe a scene and everyone's engaged, and then you've got the person on their phone, and it gets to their turn of combat, and then they're like, what's happening? After they spent that little whole round doing nothing but scrolling on Instagram.
Correct. And I mean, combat already drags enough as it is. Even whether you got 4 players, 6 players, we've been at a table with 9 players. Combat's already enough of a drag that when it gets to your turn and you've been on your phone for the last 30 minutes not paying attention, and then you have to you take up everyone else's time having to get the DM to explain to you what's going on. Like, be present, be there, and know what's going on so that you can, help make combat snappy. Like,
exactly, make it go smoothly, and give everyone a turn. No one likes sort of getting there and then waiting for you to like try and figure out what's going on after you just spent the whole time not paying any attention to what's going on.
yeah, we should caveat that there is some like cases where you're not gonna be able to avoid like screen usage. Obviously, on our Thursday nights that we run, we have some special needs people that they're not being involved. They might have something up on their iPad to keep themselves, grounded and that kind of stuff is fine.
There are those exceptions
Like,
to the rule.
there are exceptions where maybe they need the screen to keep themselves focused because there's something going on. Again, like I said, there might be an emergency. They might have to take a phone call for work. But, if you're just sitting there scrolling Instagram Reels or scrolling Reddit or scrolling Facebook and just not paying attention at all,
Correct.
that's where it's just like you're better off just... My wife absolutely hates me on D&D night because I put my phone down. I don't touch it. I just don't touch it. Like, I just disappear off the face of the planet. My staff at work, they're like, we can never get a hold of you on Wednesday. I'm like, because once we're in the game, I don't turn it off. I don't put it anywhere. I just sit it next to me and I just don't touch it because I'm invested, because I'm there. I'm watching what's going on with the role play. I'm actually participating in the game. Obviously there's external cases where people might need it. We've got a player in both of our campaigns who is very good at multitasking. So it can seem like they are not paying attention, but they are very much paying attention while they're also on their phone.
Yeah.
And if you're capable of doing that, go for gold. But a lot of people aren't.
And look, if you're also using your phone for like your character app, whatever that may be.
I mean, D&D Beyond, yeah.
I wouldn't.
We can,
in case there was other, like you're playing different TTRPG.
Oh, yeah.
The one is like D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond or like Roll20, that kind of stuff.
All that kind of stuff, if you're using that, that's completely fine. I know that we've got one player that uses her iPad, but that's specifically to take notes. That's also okay. So they do have their uses. The other time where I think it's kind of acceptable is if a DM and a player are having a private moment, and to avoid metagaming, other people can be on their phones potentially if it's specifically only that.
Yeah, like you might say, "Hey, I'm going to flick you a private message. Don't show anyone," and then that's okay. Or you just do what Lawrence does and kick everyone out of the house. If you want to have a private moment with another player, just kick everyone out and just.
I've stopped doing that.
Make them stand outside in the cold and.
I've stopped doing that at the moment. No one seems to matter that much, which is okay. And B, I think everyone's getting sick of being kicked out in the cold and starting to complain and whinge about the cold in the southern
Especially now when it's coming into winter. So
the person that usually complains is often the person from a colder environment anyway. So go figure. But
okay, that was shade. So I think overall, phones, they've got their place, but it's like, if you need them, use them. If not, put them away. Just be there. Be present. Like, your DMs put a lot of effort into, maybe not. Some DMs don't put a lot of effort in. Your DM is going to the effort of creating a story for all of you at the table. Like, be present. Be there. Be listening. Be active. Be involved. There's one, you're going to get a better experience out of it, and so is the rest of your party, and so is the DM.
Correct. This next topic is it's going to be a little bit slow because there is plenty of, there should be plenty of that, and I was like, no, we need to have less of that. But that's table talks. This is when people are around the table and they randomly talk about something that's not related to the game at all.
Yeah.
They could be talking about so the weather out here is inclement today. Or they're talking about the latest basketball game, or they're talking about the latest football match, or they're talking about the latest whatever it is.
Yeah.
So table talk, and obviously table talk is okay, and you're going to have that moment before the game starts where everyone sort of like talks about how their week has been.
That's it. Inevitably, like, you know,
happen.
for some groups, like we're lucky we meet on a weekly basis. Some groups might meet up once a month, so they're going to have a lot of debriefing to do. So, you know, they might have to spend an hour before they start just catching up. Hey, how are you going? This is what's happened, yada, yada, yada. And I think that's the ideal way to do it. I know DMs who just shut down table talk straight away.
Yeah.
Like, I think table talk has its place. We're a bunch of friends playing D&D around a table. I know a guy, he DMs, and he just shuts down table talk. As soon as, if any kind of conversation happens that's not game related, he'll just, guys, we're playing D&D. You know, shut it down. Don't have to do that. But also, and it goes back to what we said about the phones, is if it's going to take away from something that's happening at the table, you're better off just to wait or just not do it. Like,
correct. I think there's a nice little balance. I think it, way around this too is invite people over to start the game and maybe like half an hour earlier than you'd want to start it, to allow time for that initial debrief of the week and stuff like that. Say, hey guys, we're going to start the game here, but that time is actually just so you can do the table talk and then you can like ease into it. It's a nice balance of like, remember that your friends playing D&D and talking with each other is okay.
yeah.
But I also understand the point that your friend was mentioning about shutting it down. I can understand where they're coming from too, because like too much table talk can probably detract from.
Yeah, especially if you've only got a certain amount of time.
Correct.
You know, if you're a group, and especially if you're a group that only meets up once a month, and if you get, say, like one day, once a month, and you play for 4 hours, it's like you want to get as much done as possible, which means stowing the table talk and being involved and pushing the game forward. Well, as I said, we're lucky. We play on a weekly basis, rotating. One fortnight's your game, one fortnight's mine. So there's kind of less catch up to do. So we do manage to push our sessions forward enough. But if you're a group that only meets up once a month, once every couple of months, you're really not going to achieve much if you spend the whole time just talking about out of game stuff.
Correct. I think too that's the conversation that's. I was going to bring up more of DMs. We could do DM etiquette in a little while too, because I'm sorry, Tom, but DMs are not going to get away with.
Oh no!
Conversation about DM etiquette.
No. There's a lot of DM etiquette. Yeah, it's not just the players. Like we're not. Don't feel like we're just hammering the players.
Picking on your players.
DMs aren't perfect.
Worst.
DMs aren't perfect.
I'm looking at you.
Specifically, all of our players. No.
But we will get to the DM etiquette, I promise, because that is going to be like a whole topic point of its own, and definitely not going to escape judgment. The judgment day is upon us all. But players, how can you get around a little bit with the table talk? Just be mindful of the time, and that that there will be mindful of others around the table that might be more interested in just getting into D&D.
Correct. I think it's just a matter of like working out what's important and what's not.
Yeah. And
not being. I don't want to make it sound so serious, but if someone else at the table is going, I saw this thing the other day, like blah blah blah. You could just tell them like, hey, text me after the game.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting. Send me the link after the game. Like, let's play D&D. Like, if it's critically important, life or death stuff, sure, do it. But if it's just like, hey, check out this funny thing I saw the other day.
Yeah.
Send it to me after the game on Facebook or something.
Me, as from a DM's perspective as well, I actually don't mind when players pull themselves or other people up. I've had players go, oh, let's play D&D, guys.
Yes, it does happen.
I actually really like when players do that. It's because, yes, okay, cool, someone's flagged it, we're getting into it now. So,
it does happen on our tables a fair bit.
Feel free to do that.
Yeah, we might... Some people... It might be us as DMs, or it might be someone else's... Yeah, things might get carried away. Like, oh, anyway, we're here to play D&D. Like, let's get started.
great.
Like, we're here to play D&D. Let's go. And if you're confident to do that, do it. Your DM will appreciate it.
I actually do appreciate when people say like, "Hey, let's play D&D. We need to roll some math rocks, guys.
Yeah.
Do that. Don't be shy of actually flagging at the table. Hey, let's play some D&D because that helps the DMs who go, okay, cool, let's get into it, and they get to do the things. It also helps other players that might also be wanting to get started.
Yeah.
And probably the best thing that you guys can do as players is get there on time where possible.
The
Where
tardiness.
possible, because if you're there on time where possible, there is a little bit of time there for table talk.
Correct.
You can debrief. You can do that.
Yeah.
If you're constantly turning up late or you're constantly like making excuses, unless they're for good reason, work held me back, or there's a family thing happened, or whatever the reason may be. That's perfectly understandable. You might be late. You might.
We got to play our travels. He finishes later than everyone else, and he travels a fair way to get here, and so he comes in later than most, and then the only issue you have there is everyone gets here around like 6:45, 7 o'clock. We give about 30 minutes for table talk to debrief, and then we kick off at 7:30. Problem is, this player gets here at 7:30, and then he wants to debrief.
And then we're there till about 7:45.
And so then we got to push back another 10 or 15 minutes. And sometimes you just got to be like, hey, come in, we've started,
Yep.
Which again, like Lauren said, if stuff happens, it's fine. Like, if your work holds you back, something's going on, there's traffic, your car breaks down, that's fine. If you're just constantly late and wasting time, and then when you get here, you're then holding things up further. Yeah. Again, it's I don't want to, it's disrespectful. I don't want to use the word disrespectful, but that's what it is.
It is.
Everyone's like, we got a player that drives up, 40 minutes from further down south. It's disrespectful to her because she's doing an hour and a half or more round trip to come.
Correct.
And then you're pushing back and wasting time.
And then they don't get in character, and then by the time they're leaving, they're driving all the way back home again. That's extra 40 minutes.
Look, and if that player listens to the podcast, I'm sure she'd probably just say, "Oh, I don't mind because I just want to be social." But it's still, and to your DM as well, who's trying to run a game. And like you said, getting into character. Sometimes getting into character is a big thing. Like, people can't just flick it on and off,
It's also, just bringing it back to that particular player, I hope you're watching this because, I want you to know that you're actually very much appreciated, because it is no small thing to go regularly to a game, driving all that time and all that distance to get to a game and
then finishing, 10:30.
It warms my heart. That person warms my heart.
Finishing at 10:30 and then driving, 45 minutes back down, not getting home till after 11 o'clock, and then getting up for work the next day.
It's no small
it's not a small thing. So that player knows who she is, and hopefully she does listen to these, because
huge shout out to you. You know who you are.
That's a big appreciato. So in terms of tardiness and times, if your DM says be there at this time, be there at that time.
Yeah.
Your DM. They've got a session plan. They want to get started. It's going to take a while to get into it. So the sooner you start, the sooner things are going to get flowing. Not every DM, not every group can just hit the ground and start. Some sessions warm up as they go.
Turn up as well. Like that, life gets in the way. There's absolutely no problem with it. But always shoot through a message. Say, hey, look, this has popped up. Oh, I'm pretty unwell, and do it. Like, I know it's not work where it's like, you have to do it for it to be covered. It's still nice for the DM to know if they can plan things, and if they think you're coming, they might plan a whole component of the game for that player's backstory, and then that player's like, it doesn't turn up.
Yeah.
If you can't make it, try and let them know when you can.
Give notice. Definitely give notice. Enough notice that your DM can pivot. Because like Lauren said, some DMs do a lot of prep work, and if they've prepped a whole session, where maybe 75% of it is your character or something to do with your character's backstory, or maybe you're in the middle of a story arc, or you've split the group and then you're trying to resolve a story, and then 5 minutes before the session starts, you're like, oh, yeah, sorry, not going to be there. Well, then your DM's kind of like, stuck out in the water, having planned this whole session, and then they have to pivot. Some DMs definitely can improvise. They can, they can pivot like that. But for other DMs who maybe aren't so experienced and they've done this prep, it kind of leaves them a little bit short, on what to do. And then that's when they might get flustered. And then again, they're not going to have fun, and it's going to seem janky. And yeah.
Yeah. So point being, try to get there on time. Obviously, it may not always happen, but always try. And give a little bit of a heads up if you can't make it. For whatever reason. That's completely okay that you can't make it. It's a game after all, and at the end of the day, life does get in the way. However, it is respectful to send a message saying, hey, look, can't make it. X, Y, Z. Maybe a personal reason. You don't have to give a whole reason.
No,
you just have to
just something as simple as, hey, I can't make it tonight. Sorry.
Yeah, correct.
I'll sorry. See you in a fortnight.
Correct.
You don't have to go and you don't have to write 3 paragraphs. Telling them that your grandmother fell over and she's in hospital with a broken femur or some stuff like. Hey, not going to be there tonight, or not going to be there tomorrow. Something's popped up. Sorry. Something. Don't wait till the last minute to throw it at your DM.
Yeah, correct.
Hey, I don't care what you prepped today. I'm not going to be there. Make it up. That's not what you're saying, but that's how it feels sometimes.
That's how it feels sometimes, especially when they don't. Again, life gets in the way. You may not know ahead of time to be able to warn. That's okay. But if you do know ahead of time that you can't make it for whatever reason, that's when you definitely should be like, hey, just can't make it this time around.
Correct. And the last point on that is too, and then you probably don't even notice that this, if you're someone that constantly is late, or maybe if you're someone that constantly just cancels at the last second, is over time, your DM's probably just going to stop planning stuff for your character.
Yeah, correct.
If you're someone that's very flimsy, I might show up this. I'm not going to go to the next one. I'll show up to this one, but I'm not even going to respond in the group chat. Your DM's very unlikely to actually do anything of substance for your character.
Yeah.
Which means you're just showing up to roll dice, and you're not really getting the full experience.
And the other thing too is a bit of a tip that sort of branches off from that point. There's an element of give and an element of take, and it's a to and fro between the DM and the player. The DM plans something for your character, and obviously if you knew this is going to come with time and confidence, and that's okay. But if you're an experienced player in D&D and your DM's throwing you some stuff, try and work with it. The more you give back to the DM, the more the DM can actually give back to you.
Correct.
We'll always try and look at backstories and try and make sure that your character's grounded within the world and has stuff going on for them. But if we go ahead and give you that and you do absolutely nothing with it, and then that keeps happening, eventually we're going to go, okay, cool. I can't really continue focusing on you at the moment. I'm just focused on other people. So try and give back, because the more you give back, the more the DM can go, okay, cool, you're actually really taking on board what's happening. Yeah. I'll give you more.
Your DM, your DM is naturally going to when they're in their planning, they're definitely going to gravitate towards the ones who interact with the material the most.
Absolutely.
So again, showing up on time and being there and being present in the game is going to give you a more rewarding experience, because your DM is going to put more time and effort into planning stuff for you. They're not going to plan something for you if they just know that you're not going to show up for a couple sessions at a time. What's the point in giving you something if you're not going to be there? You're just going to show up when you feel like it. I sound very salty. I don't want to.
It's not sound salty. I promise it's not the. Not what the attempt is.
Just, as a DM, when you plan something and, you go, yes, I got this really cool thing planned, blah, blah, blah. And then they're just like, oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. I might be at the next one. I don't know. Like,
I had one more point too, and then we're going to go into the DM. And this is, I think we should make the DM etiquette a little bit more fun because I want you to pick on me, and then I'll pick on you.
okay, all right.
It's going to turn into a bit of a roast episode, guys.
I didn't know that we were roasting. All right.
I just randomly thought, this could be a little bit of fun. We've ragged on you players enough. I think one last point I was probably going to make too is what I like to call main character syndrome. So this is kind of a good link into
MCS, main character syndrome.
what we're talking about with like giving and taking and whatnot. Sometimes you can try and just the best way to describe main character syndrome. See, I'm already like my brain's flustered. I have English words. The train's left the station, guys. I don't know where it's gone.
It's derailed. There was no survivors.
There was no survivors on this train wreck. If you're still watching at this point, thank you.
Thank you so much. This is what happens when you work a full day and then try and record a podcast before you play D&D. We've spoken a little bit about main character syndrome.
Correct. What is main character syndrome?
So main character syndrome is it's like a mindset that certain players might fall into where they believe or they feel like their player character is the main character of the game.
Or the most important. Yeah.
So you think where it's a group game. It's a group of people playing D&D around a table. So it's a group experience. Some players we don't have many of these in our tables. Some players get into the main character syndrome mindset where they feel like everything should be about them or should be for them, or that their character should be involved in everything that happens. If you want to know how to spot a main character syndrome player, it's like during your rest, you sneak off and do this. Oh, I would go with them. Oh, I would have been there to hear that. Oh, yeah, I would have been there with them for that one. Oh, I would go there and, it's hard to put it into a phrase, but it's more of a concept of they want, some would say lone wolf. Some would say lone wolf play style, oh, I want to go off and, assassinate this person by myself, be edgy and work against the party. It's just someone that goes against what D&D is at its base, which is collaborative storytelling with a group.
And that can often manifest too when people try and take over every conversation that happens. They're always saying, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and not giving other players a chance to either interact or explain what they're doing. Sometimes we fall in the pitfalls of doing it without realizing we've done it. Other people, this is definitely not the majority, but there are some that go, cool, I want to do all of this, I want to have the attention on themselves for the whole time.
Yeah, it's hard to put it into just one phrase.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But it's kind of like the antithesis of D&D, which is group storytelling across a table. Yeah. It's someone that goes, well, I want this for my character. My character is going to go and do this. Oh, my character is going to go with them and do this. My character would have this, Yeah. And like you said, not everyone, sometimes they don't even know they're doing it. 9 times out of 10, your problem player who's a main character syndrome probably doesn't even know they're doing it. Because like you said, some tables are going to have people that are more confident in role-playing. So when it comes time to have conversations with NPCs, they're naturally going to be the ones to speak up.
Correct.
And it's hard to know when you yourself have become a main character kind of syndrome person. But it's okay to pull those people up as well.
Also, this can potentially be a new player that's discovering everything that they can do within D&D, and they get excited and they jump in. So these aren't people that are doing it deliberately all the time. Sometimes it's just because it's new and exciting.
Correct.
To them,
Yeah.
and you just want to be able to explore everything, and you're not realizing that you're taking up the time from other players as well.
Yeah.
So for new players, I kind of give you a little bit of forgiveness because I know that's just a.
Oh, look, and yeah. So sometimes you might just have this. You might have a great idea.
Yeah.
And, you know, the DM might be in the middle of something with some other players and you might be like, oh, while they're doing that, I want to go and do this. And it's like, it's okay to have that idea, but hold off. You know, if you don't want to come across as someone who's kind of hijacking the game or being like me, you know, just let other people have their moment and then bring up that thing that you want.
Yeah, correct.
And as again, 9 times out of 10, they don't know that they're doing it. So it's okay. It's okay to pull them up. And as a DM especially, it's okay to be like, okay, yes, but we're going to finish this first. You know, these guys are having their thing. You can have your thing. Everyone gets a thing. Because if, you know, you're constantly going like, if they're constantly talking over a moment saying, oh, well, anyway, while they're doing that, I'm going to go and, you know, steal from the shopkeeper. And you as a DM just go, all right, cool. We're going to go, you know, do that. You're just going to feed into it. So,
yeah, correct. Just so we're going to get back to that one in just a moment and then continue on. So yeah, the other thing too is you could,
failed. English gone.
You know, I must also apologise. I don't know if anyone, I don't know how good these microphones are. We're going to find out. There was a part during that when my tummy was.
I heard it.
Rumbling.
I heard it. He's hungry.
Having a conversation with.
He's hungry. Boy's hungry.
The boy's hungry. I haven't eaten anything since this morning, so yeah, it's getting to that point in the night, I think. But I do apologise for my tummy wanting to have them. My tummy has the main character syndrome right now.
It does.
That's what's
happening. Does. So I think, I think as a player, if we're talking about player etiquette, you need to remember first and foremost that you're part of a group.
Yes.
And that everybody is there. Everybody is at that table to play the game and have fun. Yep. Not just you. It's a group game. You know, you want to be a main character, go and play Skyrim. Go and play a video game. Write a book. You know, if you want your character to have all this stuff, write a novel. Write a book.
And your character can be the main character of that one. Not a problem at all. That's what books are for.
That's it. Or just go and find, you know, you can find heaps of stuff online for solo play where you can just play with yourself, which I was trying to find a better way to say that without saying play with yourself, but I couldn't. Play with yourself. Go and go.
We lost Tom, guys. We lost him. The man down.
Go and find a solo play thing, or you know, put some feelers out there for a DM and just be like, hey, I want to do a solo one-person thing, just me and the DM, and there might be a DM that wants to run that for you, maybe.
And what a great segue into.
That wasn't a segue at all.
It wasn't a segue at all, but we're segueing it. I'm rescuing Tom from his own mind with. These are really cool thingamajiggies.
Thingamajiggies.
These are actually dice towers. Funny enough, it's really, really cool. It's like stairs inside. I don't know if the camera. With the camera, there it is. I was looking not at the camera. There's like little stairs in there. We rolled in it a little earlier.
We did.
I rolled nat 20. Anyway, we'll roll again. That was an 8.
That was an 8.
I don't fudge my rolls. That is an 8. Tom's there looking at it.
I'm looking at it.
But that one's also pretty
cool.
Yes.
So what we have here is it's a dice tower / tome / dice holder. So it comes apart. You can store your dice and all of your goodies, and then when you put it back together, you can roll in it like this. That's a 4. That's even worse.
That's a 4.
But where do these goodies come from, Lawrence?
Well, actually, it comes from a great little place called the Infernal Printer. Chris does an amazing job on getting all these ready and in some really high quality materials as well. And they're fantastic to roll in. Nice little centerpiece. We try and bring them to our D&D and tabletop role-playing nights.
Yeah, and everyone, they always get so many comments from players talking about the quality of them, how cool they are. I mean, look how cool it is. Like, look at that. That's so cool. And then, you know, you can store your dice in it. You can do whatever you want. You know, Comes in a bunch of different. This is like a necromancer kind of one. Comes in a paladin one. Comes in a fighter one. I think we've spoken about as well with the Infernal Printer before. They probably can't see this sign here. There's a particular promo code.
It's reversed on this because it is a camera.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll help you to read it. It says DMIY10 or DMIY10.
Capitals.
If you could read that before I had to say it, congratulations.
Good job.
Amazing. Good job. You should definitely go there. That's your prize now, is to put this one in there and get 10% off the Infernal Printer. Thanks to Chris for giving us that code as well. So Chris has been amazing. He's given us all this kind of stuff to give to you guys. But also he's given us some nice little benefits for you as well, which is 10% off.
Definitely.
On the Infernal Printer store.
DMIY10. All capitals. Capital D, capital M, capital I, capital Y.
Now, in case you've forgotten the name of it and where to go, I have linked it all on my link tree. You can find that on the description of this episode on YouTube and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other podcasting networks.
Everywhere else that podcasts come from.
Do comment if you've heard us in a different different platform that even I'm not aware of. And if you have, fantastic. I'm glad to see it.
And if you have, it means someone's pirated it and put it there without our permission. But you know what? Go for it.
Go find us. You can see our faces now. We're definitely not the imposters, but you'll never know. Anyway, that's the Infernal Printer.
That's the Infernal Printer.
We'll link it all on there.
Definitely.
The other group that I want to really flag is Hilton from Citizen Cambridge Lodge in Berrima. Now that, if you haven't been there, please go. The food is incredible. But I actually approached them about, running these D&D events, and sat me down, gave me coffee, and then we absolutely talked some details. And now we have an amazing venue where we can bring D&D to life with you and tabletop role-playing games. He's been very generous to work with a local business such as ourselves, and we want to share gratitude for that as well.
Definitely.
Plus, Dungeons and Dragons in an actual dungeon is pretty awesome. So if you get to go down on one Thursday, check us out. Come say good day. Do so because it is incredible. The vibes. Check out our Facebook. The pictures are all
definitely. The photos themselves do it justice. Dungeons and Dragons in a dungeon. It used to be a jail. It's just the vibes are immaculate.
The vibes are immaculate. Service over there is incredible. If you can't make it on a Thursday night for whatever reason, well,
just go some other time and just have lunch.
Lunch.
You don't have to play D&D. You can play D&D there without us if you want, but it'd be a little bit awkward. But definitely check it out because he definitely when we had to leave the hideout and after hideout was great for us. We had to leave there short notice. And Hilton really, he did. And, he was willing to play ball very quickly and he was very supportive and he even threw in some food vouchers and a bottle of wine as well. So
he really did. It's actually 3 bottles of wine.
3 bottles of wine there.
For 3 players walked away with a bottle of wine. One of them walked away with a $100 voucher.
Yeah, huge. And that's huge. That's
generous. So I really want you to go pay them a visit, see what the food's about, see what the atmosphere's about. Go and... say good day and tell them that we sent you.
There's no promo. There's no promo code for that one.
No promo yet. Maybe I'll discuss that with Hilton. Maybe secret.
We'll work it out.
We'll work it out. If not, just say hello anyway. Say that we sent you.
Telling me. Not that we have any pull, but So there we go. Those are our 2. Big local suppliers that we're working very closely with, check them out. They're on all the information's in the description and on the link tree and yada yada yada.
I know that we may seem somewhat forced. I guarantee you it isn't. I actually have a lot of time for these 2 businesses. They're fantastic, and I'm actually really proud to work.
Oh, definitely. That's that's the goal. That's the mission statement. That's the goal is to support local and.
That's a big part of our ethos is to support local businesses and stuff like that.
Locals helping locals, everyone building each other up, and just that, and that's beyond just bringing TTRPGs and D&D to the Highlands. Is helping other local businesses and them helping us and everyone being better for it. So.
I'm saying that too. If you are another local business that would like to get involved somehow or anything like that, I'm saying put my hands up for it. We'll support you as well. Like, this is something we are very proud about, is being able to support local businesses.
Yes.
And every bit of support that we receive also helps us to do more as well. So the gratitude to those who are supporting us, and we'll continue to support them because they're amazing people, amazing products as well. I mean, this is actually pretty solid. Like, it looks really light and chunky. It is not at all. This is absolutely fantastic. One of our DMs has actually bought one. He's got the glow-in-the-dark resin too, which looks absolutely sick, by the way. Shout out to you, whoever bought it. Like, you know who you are, and I know who you are, and you know that I know who you are.
Anyway.
We're going to the next component, which is DM, which we're going to roast each other real quick.
We're going to have to do it quickly. It's going to have to be a speed roast. All right, what are we doing? How are we doing this?
Alright, we'll probably have to do part 2 on next episode, which will be a small one, but how are we doing this? I think you should start.
Okay, what do you want me? How are we doing this?
What are my failings as a DM?
God.
What are my shortcomings or shortfalls? What should I do better for my players?
Oh my God, that's a rough one. I don't know. I have a lot of fun. We're roasting. We're supposed to be roasting each other, and
terrible. I'm the worst. I cannot think of anything.
We're supposed to be roasting each other. All I can think of is just to tell you what you do correctly. You know, you're really big on backstory. You know, involving character backstories. You know, when people put details in their backstories, you really go out of your way to include them. You always make time for character moments amongst the combat. God, see. I can't roast anything. Like, not that you're unroastable. I'm sure that there's stuff, but I mean, I always have fun. Everyone always has fun. You roast me first, and then maybe it'll jog my memory.
I was really hoping that Tom would roast me.
You roast me first, and then it might jog my memory. I can roast myself all day long. See, that's the thing, is like I can roast myself all day long, and I know what I do as a DM that I could do better. Maybe we just roast ourselves. I don't know.
This is always a tricky bit. Tricky.
It's like how to say it without breaking my heart. That's what he's thinking.
You know what? I'm actually in the same problem. That's why I was really hoping you would go first. Because I had the same thing. Like, if you said something, maybe then I can get the ball rolling. And then you're like, yeah, Lawrence, you go first.
You go first.
Like, oh, think about it. I'm like, oh no.
You know what? Let's just roast ourselves. So
we'll roast ourselves.
Okay, first kind of point of DM etiquette, and we spoke about it in the past, like some kind of prep, right? Sometimes I go into a session with absolutely nothing planned, and I make it all up. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's really shit. Have a bare minimum amount of preppage done. You know, even if it's 3 dot points, have a little bit of preppage done. Sometimes I have none, and then all it takes is one question to just throw you off completely, and then the whole session just derails. So if I had to roast myself, I would say I'm a little bit too relaxed. I'm a little bit too reliant on my improvisation. Which you can improv, don't get me wrong. Improv as much as you like if you can, if you're good, if you're confident. Have some kind of prep to fall back on.
Look, I fall in the... this is going to be on me. It's not just prep, but also note-taking. I'm terrible, and this is... I'm going to roast myself here. I'm terrible at taking notes that even I can translate. To this day, I even brought up with Kendall Drury's podcast. If you know, you know, but it's the bone collector thing, which to this day, I have no idea why I wrote bone collector demon. Everyone's like, oh, he's going to turn up eventually. That's
the best. I'm still convinced. I'm still convinced it's a long con from 3 years ago. We've moved on from Curse of Strahd. We're on our, we've done a whole nother campaign since Curse of Strahd. That bone collector demon's still coming back.
It's still coming back. It's a talk amongst the table, because I even read that note that I wrote down, and it bewildered me so much that I couldn't have that mask anymore. I had to ask the player.
That's it. Yeah.
Do you guys know why I wrote bone collector demon?
Why do I have bone collector demon written in my notes? And then your players go, "Oh, this guy has no fucking clue what's going on."
And I'm also fucking... I don't know if that word is going to be a problem for YouTube. I might just flag that there. We'll see.
What kind of nanny state are we living in?
I'm not advertising that we're anything other than for mature audiences.
Yes.
Because we do sometimes go on a little waffle of
We do some swears.
expletive words.
We do some swears.
But yeah, like, Bone Collector Demon, I wrote that down. I have no idea to this day what it is. And
Yeah.
I'm terrible with recaps because, again, my notes are very...
And you can see, too, because I found these on my laptop the other day. When my campaign first started, the one that I've been running for like 3.5 years, every Wednesday we would play, and then on the Thursday I would type up a recap, and I would put that in the group chat. I stopped doing that for some reason. And now I just improv stuff and I forget to take notes. So 9 times out of 10, I forget what I named an NPC. So that's a good point. So you need a minimal amount of prep and you need some form of note taking.
Yeah.
Whether it's, get a little, page, a little voice recorder thing. And at the end of the session, once everyone goes home, just be like, all right, in this session, this is what happened. And just rattle off some dot points. And then at least you can translate that to text and put it in a document for yourself. Because, if you're not planning and you're not taking notes, your players are going to feel like, well, you're not really taking this seriously. If you're a DM that has to, if you, I didn't hear it this time. If you're a DM that constantly has to ask your players, so what was that person's name? Like, what happened last session? What was that? Like, your players are going to be like, oh, well, the DM doesn't really care, so why should I?
Correct. The other thing too is another thing I do, which is sometimes I incite a little bit of unnecessary table talk, and then internally regret my life decisions. But I've only got myself to blame for beginning it. So sometimes I break the fourth wall of the game by ending up in that kind of a situation that I put myself in.
Yes. Yep. I think that's another good point. DM etiquette is, as much as you don't want your players to derail the game, it's like try and avoid doing it yourself. I probably fall into the same boat. I have a bad habit of turning a lot of stuff into a joke.
Yeah.
Nearly every NPC you guys meet is sarcastic in some way. And it's like that. Eventually, that kind of ruins. Every NPC is the same. You don't have to do voices. You don't have to be good at accents. But give your NPCs personalities. Don't fall into the trap that I do of just making them all comedy fucking punchlines. There was they just finished up with an NPC called Koi Koi who was just this super like awkward fish man, with a Kiwi accent, and the whole thing was that he was just dumb, and that happens to a lot of my NPCs. So, I don't think I'm quite so bad at, completely derailing the game, but I do have a habit of turning a lot of stuff into a joke, which probably takes away from the seriousness of my campaign. I do have something I can roast you on. It's not even a roast. It's just another point.
Oh, here we go.
Lawrence is just obsessed with ripping people's hearts out and making them cry.
I'm a big emotional boy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I had to give you feedback, it's probably too many emotional gut punches. You could probably pull back on them a little bit so that when they happen, they're way more they're way more effective. Because, I fall into the same trope of doing the same thing. When you do the same thing so many times, eventually it loses its kind of like effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my campaign, I don't do a lot of emotional stuff. So then when the emotional stuff happens, it's like everyone cries, including me.
I've got something.
Okay, hit me. Let's go.
Now,
Here we go. We're into it.
We're in the race.
Ding, ding, ding.
But it's true. Sometimes I do use the emotional gut punches quite a bit. It's because I like making you all cry. No, I'm kidding.
He does. No, he does. It actually. Yeah, most people play D&D to have fun with people with their friends. It's like we play D&D to cry. Because what better way to build a bond with the people around you than to cry with them?
Your political intrigue is fantastic, however.
Uh-oh.
I do start with fantastic because it is. Some characters are made to be very politically inclined. like a particular barbarians and stuff like that, you got to remember to incorporate stuff for them to be able to role play. Whereas
Yes,
politics isn't a huge thing for some characters,
Yeah, no,
but
yeah.
it's almost always.
Copy that. So I mean, we've spoken about this before. My strength is, I'll call it as my strength as a DM is political intrigue, and
Because it is.
like
They're
mystery,
definitely great.
like not mysteries, but like factions and relationships between those factions and machinations and whatnot. I do sometimes forget that one of our players is just playing this dumbass Goliath, and I have to I'll double myself as well. I probably don't do enough backstory stuff. I credited you for it. I would probably say I don't do enough backstory stuff. And again, that's DM etiquette is, if your players are giving you backstories, give them something. Obviously, if they give you 7 pages of ChatGPT garble, rip it up. But if they give you an honest to God 3 or 4 paragraphs, do something with it. I'll tell on myself there. I spend so long building the world and the political intrigue in it and the goings on that I don't focus enough on the small character stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why I started with it's absolutely great.
Oh yeah.
But that's the but. Same as like me, like my emotional stuff's absolutely great, and that is my strength. However, there needs to be more than just emotional gut punches. There needs to be some. I need to be better with
correct.
Levity.
Yeah.
I struggle getting levity in the game where there's moments of goofiness and not super serious.
Yeah.
Sometimes I fall in the trap of I need to be serious. I need to have that emotional gut punch, and then go. But then I also need to balance that with levity. It's the same thing with like you're watching a horror movie or any kind of like action movie. There needs to be a moment of
there has to be
relieve the tension.
Can't just be 100% foot to the floor.
Yeah.
Sadness all the time. So so don't. I guess as a DM etiquette is, and it's not even DM etiquette. It's just a tip. Is don't rely too much on one kind of like tactic. You've probably got an over-reliance on emotional gut punches. I've got an over-reliance on, like, rug pulls and plot twists, Like, I spend so long trying to build the perfect story that everything makes sense. And so when you do the big reveal, you can go back and be like, oh, look at all these plot points along the way. But you can't forget about the small stuff as well, character moments.
Exactly.
Giving your players actually something to latch onto as opposed to just always wanting them to partake in your world.
Now, I am looking at the time, but I also want to...
I don't know my glasses.
Probably do a part 2 for DM etiquette.
57.
Because I don't think we're quite off the hook yet with players after their etiquette.
No, I think we've done a lighthearted kind of roast, but I think there's actually some proper etiquette, English etiquette. And just some, again, bare minimums that we could that DMs need to be aware of and kind of do, because again, it's not all on the players to make a game.
Correct, and I do want to flag too. We've mentioned it before. This isn't us trying to shit on players. This is actually us trying to talk about how can we all make things a better experience at the table. Hopefully you're getting some tips and the gold little nuggets of like what you can do to change the script, so to speak. I think there's one more thing that both of us can improve on, and it's also add to a little tip for other DMs as well. But something neither of us... I've started doing it in some of my Alien games, but that's what's called a debrief. At the end of a session, touch base with the players about how the game went, and from time to time touch base with players about how they feel the characters growing and progressing, and ask your players for feedback. The best thing, and this is both player etiquette and DM etiquette, is feedback from players is very, very important to DM. So we love hearing it, and we want to hear what your thoughts, because if we know that we can give you more, then we can actually act on that.
It's about, I think it's about being able to give constructive criticism and being able to take it.
Correct.
And we can talk about this on the next one, DM etiquette. But you're spot on the money. There is, create an environment where your players are confident to give their honest feedback. Because a lot of players will just be like, yeah, no, it's fun. I'm having fun. You're running a really good game. But, you want honest feedback.
Honest feedback. If everything's perfect and that is honestly where you're at, let your DM know. If there is something that you think is going great but you want improvement here, let them know as well. Because then we can look at it, okay, cool. So that's where you'd like to see more from us, and then we can give you more. And on the flip side, too, give your DMs more in regards to what your character's doing. We talked about them briefly. When we give backstory, give us something work with it, and then we can give more back. Waffling on a little bit, but I think at the end of the day, communication is important between the DM and the players.
Yes.
It's a big one to have.
Big one. Huge, yeah.
And we're going to touch on that next episode. I think at the end of the day, everyone's got strengths and stuff that they're working on. I don't necessarily believe in the word weakness. I believe in the words
opportunities.
Opportunities.
It's not weakness.
Growth.
It's an opportunity. There's strengths and there's opportunities.
Strengths, opportunities, and there's growth.
Growth.
We all grow as DMs. We grow as players, and these are tips that we hope that when you're listening to, instead of going, oh, they're just rubbing on. No. This is actually stuff that we want to help you to grow. And also by talking to each other about it, I think it's helping us to grow.
Yeah, even just the last 15 minutes talking about the little bits and pieces, as it's definitely got me to think more about what I do and what we do and what could be better and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully it resonates with you guys as well. Feel free to leave comments and whatnot if there's particular topics that you want to hear us talk more about. Or if anything we said particularly resonated with you or you got a lot out of something, feel free to let us know because, sometimes it does feel like we just waffle on. So it'd be good to know that people are actually getting, their money's worth out of it.
The other thing too is like us, subscribe to us, turn your notifications on, all the stuff that...
What do we say? Like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe.
Hit the little bell.
Yep.
I'm new to this YouTube stuff, so...
We're all kind of new to it. Even I was like, I'm not happy with what I'm wearing, and I'm pulling out of the I don't know.
Suddenly now people can actually...
I'm actually rotund for people that are looking at it. Don't worry, I'm amongst the crowd. That's the word I'm going to go for.
Oh God.
I'm hoping it's
oh Lord. Now people have seen us. I'm sure now people have seen us physically. Like,
they're going to unsubscribe.
Our opinions have lost all credibility.
We have no.
Oh I'm not going to trust a single word. I'm not going to trust a single word these guys say. Chris, look at them. Anyway, that seems like a good time to wrap up.
Anyway, hooroo all. And thank you to our subscriber who immediately subscribed. You know what? Shout out to you. You're actually part of the amazingness that we're going to be. So
hell yeah,
that guy. He's one of our DMs actually, but he subscribed to us, and I'm really actually very appreciative of him. And I think he knows who he is. So if you're listening and you're paying attention to this, shout out to you. I want to hit you up for some call call very soon. Anyway, if you guys want to get involved in any sense, just please shout out as well. All right, hooroo.